Hello, welcome everyone to today's webinar. My name is Beata, and together with my colleague Maggie and our colleague Silvia, we will virtually guide you through Slovakia, and we will introduce you to study and research and artistic possibilities in Slovakia, as well as several programs within which you can apply for a scholarship, for a study research, artistic lecture, or language stay in Slovakia. This webinar is being recorded, as you see, and you will be able to watch the video on our YouTube channel, SAIA Slovakia. Please, at this moment, keep your, maybe also camera, but microphone is the most important, turned off during the presentations. You will be able to turn them on at the end when there will be time for questions. You can also ask questions in the chat during the presentations, and we will try to answer them continuously. So let's start. First of all, I would like to introduce our agency, SAIA, or as we simply call it, SAIA. It's the Slovak Academic Information Agency. We are a non-profit and non-governmental organization, and since 1990, we have been assisting in the field of international education and research in Slovakia. A little bit about my country, our country. Slovakia is a small country in the heart of Europe. We also call it the big little country. Don't confuse it with Slovenia, which is a different country. It's a coastal state located in the southern part of Central Europe, so please don't get it wrong. The Slovak Republic is a member of the European Union with a population of just over 5 million. Our capital city is called Bratislava, and our political system is a parliamentary democracy. We were once part of Czechoslovakia, and we became an EU member more than 20 years ago. We speak Slovak language and use the euro as our currency. As we are a part of the Schengen area, this makes us a gateway to the whole Europe. Why come and study or research in Slovakia? It's a country of beautiful mountains and stunning nature. The wealth is also hidden underground in Slovak caves. Slovakia offers unique traditions and an interesting history. Nowhere else in the world will you find as many castles and chateaux per capita as in Slovakia. We have a total of 180 castles, along with more than 400 chateaux in the country. Now let's focus on study options. Study programs in Slovakia are typically offered at 3 levels of higher education. A bachelor's degree program usually takes 3 years, master's program 2 years, and doctoral programs last 3 or 4 years. In Slovakia, we have 34 universities, including 20 public universities, 3 state, and 11 private universities. If you speak English, you can choose from over 400 programs offered in English. Those who study in Slovak language, including foreigners, do not pay tuition fees. Those who study in a foreign language, like for example English or German or other, are required to pay tuition fees. If you want to find out which Slovak universities offer studies in, for example, English language, you can search on the Portal BS website. In this database, all study programs are divided into 9 fields of study. So if you would like to study, for example, agriculture and veterinary science, so you choose English as a language of study, and you are interested in, for example, infectious diseases of animals. The database will offer you, for example, the University of Veterinary Medicine and Pharmacy in the city of Košice, which is the second largest city in Slovakia. Clicking on that option, you will find detailed information about that university and study program, and you will find an address to contact. If you are considering study or research stay in Slovakia, we would like to introduce you to one of our web pages, which provides information about Slovakia and scholarships for your studies. It's the webpage studyinSlovakia.saia.sk and the English version of it. In our scholarship database, you can search for various scholarships for your stay in Slovakia based on home country, which is your home country of origin, support category, target group, which determines whether you are a university student or bachelor's, master's, doctoral student or other. After selecting all criteria, you will find all available scholarships for you. These logos of scholarship programs are administered either by us, SAIA, or by the ministry, and are for either applicants from selected countries or for applicants from all countries. Let's now move on to the SAIA and ministry programs. And in the second half of today's webinar, my colleague Maggie will present the NSP or National Scholarship Program to you, and she will advise you on how to submit a successful application. So the first and oldest of the SAIA programs is the Academic Mobility Program, which includes scholarships based on intergovernmental bilateral agreements. These are signed by the Slovak Republic with 23 countries in Europe and the world. These are the countries from which you can apply for an academic mobility scholarship if you are a citizen of one of them. Scholarships can be awarded for various types of stay, and eligible applicants can be university students, PhD students, researchers, or teachers. The scholarship is paid from the funds of both countries. That is, part of it is paid by the Slovak Republic and part by your home country. The application deadline may vary depending on the country. So each applicant must contact the Ministry of Education of your own country to inquire about the scholarship application process. More information, except the one for the deadline, can also be found in the SAIA database, grants.saia.sk. Second program is called Aktion Austria Slovakia. This program applies only for those who are studying in Austria. It doesn't take into account citizenship, but only institutional affiliation. So if you are a student, let's say from Bulgaria, but you are a student or doctoral candidate or teacher at one of the Austrian universities, research institutes, you can apply for this scholarship. Applicants from Austrian public universities, private universities, universities of applied sciences, or university colleges of teacher education, and researchers from the Austrian Academy of Sciences are eligible to apply for one of these grants. As you can see, there is a possibility to get a grant for diploma candidates, for summer Slovak language course, for PhD students, for postdocs. Each grant has different conditions and amount of monthly grant rate. Now let's move on to the next, called CEEPUS program. It's an acronym of Central European Exchange Program for University Studies. This is a multilateral international program supporting the cooperation between higher education institutions from member countries through academic networks. These are the member countries. As you can see, all of them are from Central and Southern Europe. Bachelor or master students and even PhD students and teachers of higher education institutions eligible for the program in their home country can apply for a stay in Slovakia, but you have to check the eligibility at your home national CEEPUS office. So these are mobility types of these programs, and these are scholarships rates in Slovakia valid for this academic year. Applications are submitted electronically at CEEPUS.info with the following deadlines. And now a little bit about another program called EURAXESS. SAIA also is a member of EURAXESS network, which is a program aimed at caring for foreign researchers coming to Slovakia. EURAXESS Slovakia is part of the European EURAXESS network of more than 600 centers operating in 43 countries around the world. The English version of the portal is tailored specifically for international PhD students and researchers and their families as well. Beyond funding and career development opportunities, it provides vital information on topics such as visa and entry conditions, health and social security, taxation, family matters, and others, thus making relocation to Slovakia easier and more seamless. When you click on the jobs and funding section in the top bar, it will redirect you to a database where, in addition to grant offers, you can also search for research positions that are currently available in Slovakia. So these were SAIA programs, and now let's move to other kind of scholarships. These are administered by the Ministry of Education, Research, Development and Youth of the Slovak Republic. The first one is called Governmental Scholarships of the Slovak Republic for Foreign Students. This program supports applicants from the following countries. As you can see, applicants from the first larger group can apply for a scholarship for the entire bachelor's and master's studies. And applicants from Brazil, Georgia, and the Republic of Sudan can also apply for a scholarship for the entire doctoral studies. These are the monthly scholarship amounts in individual categories. Okay, at this time, the web page for submission of online application isn't active yet, but as you can see, in 3 days, it will be. And then the deadline for submitting application is in 2 months, the 25th of May. Next program is also provided by the Ministry of Education of the Slovak Republic. This scholarship program is designed for international students who plan to pursue higher education in Slovakia even next academic year. The scholarship will be designated for full-time bachelor's and master's studies at a Slovak higher education institution. The scholarship program will grant 5,000 euros to the top 100 successful applicants. Applicants may choose from any public or private higher education institution, as well as any full-time study program. The Slovak Ministry of Education is now preparing a continuation of the scholarship scheme, which they plan to launch in very near future, the year 25 included. If interested, check this website and social media regularly. Anyone interested in applying for the scholarship should contact the ministry via scholarships.sif.minedu.sk. Right? To be eligible for the scholarship, applicants must meet the following requirements. As you can see, you have to be admitted to a Slovak higher education institution and to be enrolled in the first year, etc. All important information about this program are available at scholarships.portalbs.sk. The order of applicants in the respective category will be determined on the basis of the scholastic aptitude test, SAT test score result, and to be considered for the scholarship, a minimum set score of 1050 is required. The applicant must complete the online application along with the attachments and submit it not longer than in June, maybe 30, we will see very soon, 2025. Please note that the application must be submitted exclusively electronically online at this website. And now we finally get to our biggest program, and I will now pass the floor to my colleague Maggie, who will present the NSP to you.
Hi everyone, and Beatka, thank you for the floor. And let's now dive into the our flagship program, the National Scholarship Program of the Slovak Republic, or NSP to create a little shortcut for you. And this is a program which supports the mobility of Slovak students as well as international students, PhD students, and researchers. And it was founded in 2005 by our Ministry of Education. Citizens of any country in the world can apply for a scholarship stay in Slovakia within the framework of the national scholarship programs, and students can apply for 1 to 2 semesters or 1 to 3 trimesters. PhD students are eligible for stays from 1 to 10 months, and university teachers, researchers, and artists can also come to Slovakia for 1 to 10 months. Let's talk about money because, of course, everyone is interested in that. How much is the scholarship? The scholarship is intended to cover the international scholarship holders' living costs in Slovakia, which means food, accommodation, costs during their study, research, artistic, or teaching stay at universities and research organizations in Slovakia. As you can see, it ranges from something over 600 euros to more than 1,400 euros, depending on the category to which you fall into, whether you're a student, PhD student, researcher, and there it is divided based on the amount of experience you have. In addition to the scholarship, which is paid to you on monthly basis, you can also apply for a travel grant, which can help you cover the costs of your travel to Slovakia. And this travel grant is calculated based on the distance you have to travel from your home country or home institution to Slovakia. If it's less than 200 kilometers, then unfortunately, I'm sorry, you are not eligible. But if it's more than 200 kilometers, to more than 7,000 kilometers, you can receive from 50 euros to even 1,500 euros, which is a very nice amount of money to cover your flight tickets to our little big country. A little tip: how do you calculate the distance between your home country to Slovakia? You can also use the distance calculator, which is available online, and it shows you a distance in a straight line, or the flight distance from your country to our country. For example, in this case, it is something over 10,000 kilometers. When can you apply? Application deadlines are twice a year. The one that we are now getting closer to is at the end of April, which is 30th April until 4 p.m. of Central European time. So don't forget that you cannot send in the applications till midnight, but till 4 p.m. And the next one is at the end of October. So application deadlines are always at the end of April and at the end of October. And the April deadline applies for stays during the summer semester of the April deadline applies to the stays during the next academic year, and the October deadline applies to the stays during the summer semester of the current academic year. How can you apply? You can find all the information about the conditions and also the documents that you have to attach to the application on our website www.scholarships.sk, and you have them available in various language mutations, including English, Spanish, and also other languages like German, French, and Russian. And just before the time of the deadline, you will find that there is a button available on the left side of the web page, which says Submit Application. And when you click on the Submit Application button, it redirects you to our online application system, to which you have to register if it's your first time there, and only to log in if you've already been in our online application system. And once you register or log in, you can start filling in the application with your personal information, your details about your study, your address, where you come from, and all the other necessary information like your university and some basic data about your planned stay, or even other study or research stays that you have been to in your past, to also other countries. Maybe the most complicated or the most requested part of our presentation is the one about application attachments, or which documents you need to attach to the application and how to correctly prepare them so you have the highest chance of success. Well, don't worry, this part comes now, and we'll explain in detail and give you advice on how to prepare everything from your CV to the plan of your study or research stay and everything. So first, let's start with the list of documents each category of applicants has to prepare. When it comes to university students, it's a CV, a motivation letter, detailed study program with the list of subjects and credits, 2 recommendation letters issued by university teachers, confirmation of your studies, a bachelor's diploma with diploma supplement and state examination certificate, if that's applicable, admission letter issued by the host university in Slovakia with a list of subjects, and also optionally certificates from your co-curricular or extracurricular activities, or language certificates if you have some. PhD students do have to attach their CV, motivation letter, also detailed study or research program, one recommendation letter issued by their dissertation supervisor, confirmation of studies, master's diploma, also diploma supplement, and list of publications or artistic activities in a required form, and an invitation letter issued by a host or a Slovak institution that invites them for a study or research stay to Slovakia. And when it comes to university teachers, researchers, and artists, the necessary documents are CV, a detailed teaching or research program, applicant's diploma of the highest academic degree achieved, a list of publications or artistic activities, and invitation letter as well. In which language do you have to submit your documents? Well, in case of documents written in other than Slovak, Czech, or English language, which are the most acceptable documents, you have to include a scanned copy of the original document together with their official translation into Slovak or English language. Alternative translation can be made and certified by the same institution that issued the respective document. So, for example, if your university issues study confirmation for you in their language, you have to give us a translation in English, Slovak, or Czech language. And the recommended format of the documents is PDF. Well, now let's dive into the separate documents and talk a little bit more about what they should contain. And let's start with the simplest one, and that is curriculum vitae. This CV should include your personal information, current and or achieved education, your work experiences, personal skills like language, organizational skills, digital competence, or even your extracurricular activities, volunteering activities, or other achievements that you would like to boast with. This CV should be structured, written in points and paragraphs, not whole sentences. And a pro tip from us is to use a CV format called EURAXESS, which is available online. Only thing you have to do is type EURAXESS into Google, and it will show you a web page that is very simple to use. You just have to put in your personal information, work experience, and everything, and it organizes your CV on its own. So it's very easy to use, and it's a widely accepted format across all European Union. Motivation letter should be clear, logical, and efficient overview of your motivations and goals that you want to achieve during your scholarship stay in Slovakia. It should not be a poetic description of your life, but it should be very clear on why you have decided to apply for a scholarship stay in Slovakia. What is the expected contribution of the stay in regard to your career, or even what can you bring to your home institution? Why you have chosen the specific university or research organization in Slovakia? Explain how this stay can help you, what the university or research institution can offer, how it differs from your home institution, what is the added value of specifically you winning the scholarship and coming to this specific university. For example, when it comes to your research goal, you can also detail your expected results of your stay. How can the stay in Slovakia help you with the progress of your research, and how after your arrival back to your home country, this will help you to conclude your research work, for example. Program of the stay, and that's a document, a very important one that details the information about your study plan at your host institution in Slovakia, and it explains the relation between your planned activities, goals of the stay, and possibilities of professional growth and career opportunities, which means that, of course, all your planned study activities, for example, subjects you would like to take in Slovakia, have to be directly connected with your studies and your field of study at your home university. You should also write the specific goals of your stay, write what opportunities your host institution in Slovakia has to offer from the professional point of view, list all the subjects or activities that you can participate in Slovakia, and of course be aware of the requested amount of ECTS credits that you have to have altogether. You can also include in the program of the stay visiting various lectures and seminars, libraries, work in a laboratory, data collection with, for example, specific methods, or how can the infrastructure of the host university can help you host more activities or conduct special experiments. You can mention consultations with local experts at the host universities, and it is great if you, for example, include a time plan of those activities, so the committee can see if it's all doable and if your list is viable for execution. Now let's move to the recommendation letter. For students, we require 2 recommendation letters. For PhD students and researchers, only 1. This recommendation letter should be written by your university teachers or supervisors of your research. It should not be a formal letter from a person that doesn't know anything about you. It really helps if the person who writes the recommendation letter for you knows you. They can describe your personal qualities, your study results, and how you conduct yourself in lectures or during your research at the university. And they can explain how significant this research stay or the study stay would be for the future of your research or of your career. And it can even include some information about how relevant your scholarship stay in Slovakia is to your home institution, that it's not only beneficial for you, but it's also beneficial for your home institution, and that your home institution is supportive for you to carry out your scholarship stay in Slovakia. We do not recommend that you leave the recommendation letter until the last minute, and you should contact your teacher or thesis supervisor well in advance so they have enough time to write a strong recommendation. And at the same time, it cannot be older than 3 months before the date of application deadline. Make sure that is properly signed, that it's on the letterheaded paper of your home university or research organization. It must also contain full name, contact address, and work position of your recommender, and it must be signed. Don't make this mistake. Next one is confirmation of studies, which is basically a formal document that proves that you are a student or employee of the university. It also cannot be older than 3 months on the day of the application deadline, and it must contain information about your expected date of the completion of your studies and the standard length of the study in the respective field at the respective institution. And it also has to confirm or show the year or semester you have already studied at the institution. When it comes to the list of publication that is required from PhD students and researchers, it should be elaborated according to a template that you can find on our webpage in the category downloads, right at the top, as you can see on the slide. And I think that after you download this attachment, it will be very clear to you how to proceed when elaborating this list of publications or artistic activities. Now let's move to admission or invitation letter, which is one of the most important documents that you have to attach to your applications. And it is basically an approval that the respective host institution in Slovakia, so a university or a research institution, agrees with your stay. It should be issued for the same time period as the period stated by the applicant in online application. So make sure the dates check. In case of PhD students, university teachers, and researchers, and artists, invitation letter should not be just a formal admission for a scholarship stay, for example, from international department, but it should reflect a certain level of a host institution's interest in applicants' teaching, research, or artistic activity. So it should be, for example, issued by someone who understands what you are doing, what's your research field, and so on. So, for example, the head of the respective department at the host university or research institution. And it states, in case of students, it is highly recommended that the invitation letter contains a list of subjects which the applicant is going to attend at the Slovak university during their scholarship stay, so it is very clear that the university agrees with your stay here. In case of students, it is very okay if the invitation, if the admission letter is issued by the International Relations Office of the respective university or the Vice Dean for International Relations. Again, this document should be issued on the letterheaded paper of the university. It must be signed by the person who issued the document. It must contain position, contact details of the person who issued the document, and it must be in Slovak or English, depending on the language of scholarship online application. And again, it cannot be older than 3 months on the day of the application deadline, and it must be delivered to SAIA office in case you will be awarded a scholarship. And it must be delivered to SAIA office, it must be delivered to SAIA office not later than 3 days after the application deadline. You can see a acceptance letter example here. As you can see, this is the correct form of acceptance letter. It is written on letterheaded paper of the respective host institution. You can find a date of issue there, exact period of your scholarship stay, approval to attend lectures and seminars, and to be allowed to take the exam. It also specifies that you are admitted within the framework of the National Scholarship Program. It is signed by the person who issued the document, and it contains their position, contact details. So you can get inspired by this acceptance letter. What should be written there? As we already said, exact period of your scholarship stay, your planned activities during your stay, the approval that you can attend lectures, seminars, and that the host institutions agrees with your study program. And it is recommended to add information about previous cooperation between the institution, about common research interests, how the scholarship stay can strengthen the relationships between the universities or institutions, or how it will move forward research or educational cooperation. If there is any former cooperation between the universities, that's great, and you should mention that also in your acceptance letter. What should not be written there? It should not contain admission within the framework of another scholarship program, for example, Erasmus, CEEPUS, International Visegrad Fund, or any other bilateral intergovernmental agreements. It should not contain any information about your admission for full bachelor, master, or PhD studies. Remember, this program is for study or research mobility, not for full study in Slovakia. And just to be clear, such invitation or admission letters do not meet formal criteria, and therefore you will not be awarded the scholarship. How to get such an admission or invitation letter? Well, it's the thing that you have to do on your own. And the first step is to contact the potential host institutions in Slovakia by email or by phone. You have to introduce yourself, state that you would like to participate in a study or research stay at their university, and you have the opportunity to be awarded a scholarship within the framework of the National Scholarship Program. You have to include information about what your study program would look like, what your research plan is, when would you like to come and leave, and all the other information that you have already written in your previous application attachments, and it is recommended that, for example, to this email, you attach your CV and motivation letter or even a potential program of your stay. So the institution gets acquainted with you and with your priorities and goals of your stay, and they can better assess if you are the right fit for them. So, in conclusion, after you elaborate all these documents and you are sure that it's the best you can do, you attach them to your online application, and before the application deadline, hit send, and then your application is the hands of the selection committee. And you have to remember that this application is the only way the committee can get to know you. So this time that you devote to preparing the application is the most important investment in order to be successful. So you have to pay proper attention to writing the required documents. The committee reads your application and evaluates a lot of other applications, and it depends only on you if your application will be perceived as attractive or not. And remember the motto, quality over quantity. It does not depend whether you write 10 pages if those 10 pages are not filled with useful information that specify clearly why you want to come to Slovakia. And after the application deadline, it usually takes like several weeks, 8 to 10 weeks, until you hear from us and discover whether you've been successful or not. If you would need any other inspiration or motivation, you can pop to our section blog on our webpage and read successful stories of other scholarship holders that have come to Slovakia with NSP scholarship or other scholarships, and you can read their experiences from their stay in Slovakia. And I hope that you will be very much happy to learn that they have all been very much excited to spend their time here with us on Slovak universities or research institutions. If you will have any more questions, please ask them here on this webinar with us. We also have a scholarship administrator with us. But if you will, for example, find out later today or within several weeks until the application deadline that you have more questions, you can write us an email or even follow us on our social networks and pop us a message there. We will be very glad to answer and direct you to the right person. And here you can see the email details of our scholarship administrator for the National Scholarship Program. So thank you very much for your attention.